Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us for this short introductory series of videos in which we showcase some of the key changes to the 2023-24 MIPS Indemnity Insurance Policy. In this video, we'll be focusing on some of the changes to the policy wording around criminal matters, defamation, and personal safety pursuit matters. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Matthew Metcalf, who's the Underwriting and Product Manager. And also Julie Harris, who's the Professional Services Manager.
Hey, hi Owen, good to be here to go through the policy.
Great, thank you. Now I think once upon a time, most doctors or healthcare practitioners would have thought that being sued was the most frequent adverse medico-legal event that could occur. However, these days, being sued is actually an incredibly rare event. Instead, many doctors and healthcare practitioners face new and emerging risks. For example, there are websites such as RateMD, where patients can upload online and potentially defamatory reviews. Similarly, disgruntled or even mentally unwell patients may threaten members and may make you feel unsafe at work. I've had that experience and I know firsthand just how stressful that type of experience can be. So Julie, I'm wondering if I can turn to you and perhaps if you could tell us a little bit more about why this area of cover is so important.
Thanks, Owen. Yeah, I think the really important part of this policy is the holistic nature of it. We really wanted to look at all of the emerging risks that doctors are facing today and the changes that are occurring in the environment, in the community and in expectations. And we're seeing more and more that those allegations that might arise out of healthcare can cross a number of forums. And I think it's really important that members feel supported across all of those things and that we can coordinate and manage that as one sort of set of risks. It's obviously really damaging and stressful to be in that situation. So it's sort of making sure we've got all of the things in place that a member needs at that really critical time.
So it's not just about covering a particular complaint, but about covering a situation that could give rise to more than one complaint.
Absolutely, yeah. We want to make sure that things we do over here are coordinated and cognizant of other exposures and risks that members might face.
Yep. So just by way of an example, so if a complaint is made about a consultation that took place, that could result in like civil litigation or a complaint to the medical board.
Absolutely. You know, we see the coroner, the police, there's regulatory issues, complaints of all kinds, and obviously they may become more serious, more formal, and they may result in police and criminal charges. So to ensure we're sort of across the whole of that situation, this is why we've introduced these covers.
Great. No, thank you. Thanks for that explanation. So Matthew, perhaps you could take us through exactly how the policy has changed.
Yeah, thanks, Owen. So as Julie mentioned, we do have claims that can cross multiple forums, and we do have criminal potential. So what MIPS has done is offer $500,000 in cover for members. Now, this has to be as a result of providing healthcare, as with the whole policy. And with that, we do have some ways to make sure that we're controlling our costs so that it's fair on our whole member base. One of those methods is that if somebody pleads guilty to a charge, we will then stop providing additional funds. So that way we are giving the members the full support right up until either they admit guilt or are found guilty by a court. So there is a full list of our different policy control in the member handbook.
So really important to check the policy for all of those precise wordings. So there's criminal, and what are some of the other changes?
And so the other two we've got, so the first one is our defamation pursuit cover. So with this cover, it's if somebody has defamed you, and that person is either the patient or somebody acting on the patient's behalf, and neither of those two can be a medical professional. With this cover, there is a $20,000 excess. So our intention is to use that initial excess to be able to get a legal opinion that the threshold for defamation has actually been reached. Once that threshold is reached, MIPS will then provide up to another $130,000. So that's the $150,000 total. The reason why we picked this amount was because we believe it will give a robust pursuit case, but it won't be an unacceptable cost to our entire member base.
So we receive a lot of inquiries from members who are concerned that they've read an online review about themselves and they're concerned about that review having an impact potentially on their practice or their reputation. And you know, we encourage you to contact us if that's occurred, because there's a lot that we can do to help you with that and to support you through that process and to offer you advice in relation to your options. But in those circumstances where it does become more serious and where perhaps the best course of redress for you is a legal avenue, then the new policy allows us to assist you with that. So Matthew, I think there's also been some changes to the policy wording in relation to personal safety pursuit matters as well.
Yeah, so we've added a new cover, the personal safety pursuit. Now, this cover was added in response to the rising threats and violence faced by healthcare professionals. We've arranged for each member to be eligible to claim up to $100,000 per policy term for legal representation costs in pursuing a personal safety protection order or intervention order in a court. Now, if there is a threat to your personal safety or the safety of your immediate family in connection to your provision of healthcare.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Julie. So hopefully this video helps you to better understand some of the changes that we've made in relation to criminal matters, defamation pursuit, and personal safety pursuit matters. As I mentioned, it's a really important area, and we know just how distressing many of these types of claims can be for our members. And so we really hope that these changes help to better serve the needs of our members. Just the final thing I'd like to point out is that this video is for general information only. It's not intended to be a substitute for legal advice, nor is it intended to be an assurance that the policy will apply in your given personal circumstances.